Hey guys, we are back with another episode of Lifting the Rug. We are so excited. Today we have Charlii. Can you pronounce your last name for me? I don't want to butcher it.
It's okay, you can butcher it. I've been called many names in America. So my last name is pronounced Charlii Sebunya. Sebunya because my mum and dad are from Uganda, East Africa.
Oh,
and then
very
when I go
cool.
to Uganda, I've got like six names they call me.
Oh, wow.
So we have like, nobody calls me Charles, which is my real name, or Charlie. If I'm working, everybody calls me by my Ugandan names. And then because I'm the eldest son, I have Masisi. Because when my grandfather was born, there was a volcano going. So when you give birth to your eldest son, the first son has Masisi. So my brother has Sebunya, but my sister and I'm the only one with Masisi. My brother and my sister has Sebunya.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Keep it tradition, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool.
I love your accent. Yeah. So, you know, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. We're so honored that you took the time to do this with us. We're so excited.
Why? You girls are amazing. What I love about you girls that you're doing your own thing. You know, you're up on social media, you're doing your own thing. You're not waiting for others, you know.
Yeah.
You're walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. So I just want to give you a little bit of an intro for anybody who doesn't know. This is Charlii Sebunya. Did I say that right?
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, cool. So you are a producer for multiple documentaries, a celebrity model, an actor, journalist, and most notably a TV host on, is it Addy Media?
Addy Media, yes.
Okay, very cool.
Addy.media.
Cool. And then you most recently did an extensive kind of coverage of Fashion Week.
Yes, every single day is extensive at Addy.media. Yeah, we just came out from doing 91 shows in 7 days.
Cool.
That was New York Fashion Week. It just opened up. And then yesterday, until the early hours of the morning, we just been editing an exclusive interview that you should know about shortly, which I cannot disclose yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But yeah,
All right.
it's a big one. We've been going back and forth with the edit, you know? But
yeah. So cool. Okay. So we're very happy to have you on our show and so honored. But what we really loved about it, because we kind of did our own like little bit of digging in the most recent videos.
Like the IRS.
Yeah. Yeah, right. No. So my favorite one was the one about, it's like a little clip about 9/11, and I love, like, I don't know if it was, I think it was the most recent one.
Yeah. The most recent one that we've decided to upload because we have Addy Media, StyleCulture TV, we have global distribution. Yeah. So our segments go worldwide. As I'm sure you ladies know, it kind of like devalues a segment if it's all blasted all over social media and YouTube. Right. And then when you try and sell it abroad, it's like, well, why are you asking for X amount for a segment when I can get it for free on YouTube? So the segment you'll talk about, 9/11 is on there, or we put different edits up as well. But yeah, 9/11 is what because New York Fashion Week was during 9/11, everybody remembers what happened during 9/11 and Fashion Week was going. So as you know, it was the 20th anniversary. So we got some interesting answers.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that I loved about your like style of interview is you keep it really light, but you also have this like way of getting people to be really honest about their answers and like take that fear down of like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about this right now because it's like potentially political or like it's getting into political territory.
But don't you think, ladies, that everything is political now?
Oh,
even saying ladies, even calling you ladies on this podcast could be political because you might not be part of that gender or the pronoun or the hashtag that they're using at the moment. So for me, it was like everything seems to be political now. And those are the edits that you did. So we've got like tons of people's, replies on 9/11 or Afghanistan or the abortion or vax mandate. The reason why we spoke about, abortion, Roe v. Wade, because as you know, Texas was revoking that.
Yeah.
So, we had loads of different answers from male, female, different races, young, old, Democrat or Republican, or, neutral, So we had some really interesting answers. So it's hard these days because everybody wants, which is what we're doing now as we're speaking, everybody wants a 30-second segment. It's got to be 30 seconds. It's got to be a minute. Anything over that, no one's going to look because everybody's vaccinated to the highballs and getting their boosters. So nobody can concentrate, past 20 seconds. So we had to swilling it down to some of the best answers. I mean, so one lady said, I plead the Fifth Amendment. And I was like, what? I plead the Fifth Amendment. I don't want to answer that. Exactly. It's just like, that's what she said. She didn't want to answer that. She just wanted to talk about her cool pair of shoes and her cool dress that she was wearing.
Well, which is fine also because, you're at that environment and it's totally cool. But yeah, that's an interesting answer. I don't think I would have. Very different. It's different.
You know.
Do you have a question?
So yeah, I actually wrote this one down. So could you tell us a little bit more about your career and like how you got into all of this? Like
you started.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So that's I'm from England. My mum and dad are from Uganda, East Africa. So I am a qualified chef. I went to boarding school in West London, Putney, and then went to Westminster, and the college, university, and you're meant to end up in a hedge fund and have a house, white picket fence, and loads of children, and divorce your wife, and then go with the mistress, and the whole 9 yards. But I put my 2 fingers up at that. I'm a qualified chef by trade. Jamie Oliver was a year above me. Gordon Ramsay was one of our lecturers, so I worked with Gordon Ramsay. But I was always interested in the arts. But my mum and dad are African, and they're like, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, being an artist, like how you could provide for your family and your loved ones. So my backbone and my trade is a qualified chef. And then what I did, I amalgamated the 2. So everybody now, has got a cooking show, was doing their cooking shows in the lockdown. Then I was always in the arts. And then I am a qualified, physically trained, like a trained dancer. So I was a dancer, and loads of people that I grew up with back home in Europe who all live around the world now, Asia and India and the States and the whole 9 yards. Anyway, we were all trained dancers. So people that were in our age bracket in our group was, who were plucked to become to bigger, better things. We like, Victoria Beckham, the Spice Girls were all put together and all those type of people. So we were trained dancers, and I always loved that because it taught you stamina and training and discipline.
Yeah.
So I was a trained dancer, and we traveled all around the world. I worked in India and Germany, Dusseldorf, Copenhagen, Russia, India, I probably said it already, Israel, we went around the world doing that. And I'm thankful for that because I've traveled and still traveling around the world, you have a different concept of the world. So when somebody's telling you about Asia is kicking our ass in America because they're market leaders ahead with technology, it's a proven fact. But when you say it to people over here, oh no, Charles, you're being rude. Oh no, Charles, you're being racist. Oh no, this is the best country in the world. It is if the furthest you've been in your life is Brooklyn and 42nd Street. But when I lived in LA from 2007, the infrastructure, which is what they're talking about, the roads are all bumpy from the airport. Your car is going through all different potholes. And it's like you're in different parts of Africa, but Africa has built their roads up really, really good now. So when people in the White House are talking about infrastructure, which many of them I love, and a lot of their kids have studied abroad, like they've studied in Asia and they've studied in Europe, so they understand globally what's going on. So it's very easy to manipulate people when they haven't ventured out and they've only known the East Coast or only know the West Coast. So it's very easy to manipulate people. So basically, that's how I got started to become a trained dancer. And then I got an audition sent through to be for models, because you mentioned I did modeling, and it was for a historic photographer called Anna von Antwerp. They were looking for models. All the models in there for the campaign was, had books and had tears, meaning front covers of magazines and that type of stuff. I walked in with my dancer headshot, ready to do a pirouette. And the whole nine yards said, "Hi, here I am." And all the other models were giving it, heroin chic and skinny and looking like death. And Ellen von Antwerp, which I got to meet at Fashion Week again, which I love, and I always start crying when I see her, because Ellen von Antwerp picked me and she said, "I want you for the campaign." I did 2 days with her and we shot the Diesel campaign, which went worldwide. And then from that, which is what took me off to do the modeling. And from there, I was always doing modeling. And that kind of like gets boring. And there's more to just taking a photograph. There's more to me to that. So then from that, because it's very easy to do in Europe, from that, it just propelled me to doing on-camera hosting, because as you can see, I like to talk. And then from the hosting, I then put my paperwork together and then got representation in America, because I wanted to come when I had a body of work. And then you come to America, because as you know, America and England were cousins from history. So when you submit your paperwork, you go straight through, no questions asked. And then I started working in New York, and then you have to go to Los Angeles. And from Los Angeles, I came back. And then, the rest is history, just doing doing that. But in between all that, I was doing music. I got signed to Warner Brothers East West France, recorded an album, released a single. Because it was England. All you got to do is pick up a mic and put the auto tune on. So it's England. But you guys in America, you got to be able to sing like Jennifer Hudson, Ariana Grande. You got to be able to sing. But yeah, it was easy. It was it's back in the days of the 80s. You just have to look good. You know what I mean? So that was it. That was it. But I'm still learning every single day. Every single day we're always learning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the big thing that I think I took away from that is perception, which I think a lot of people, just like perception in general. So a lot of people who haven't been to a lot of places don't know different cultures, don't know different perspectives. So it is hard. It's so hard for them to get into that mindset of like, this is how they're thinking.
Why is that? Why do you think that is, ladies? You're living in America, you're living in Westchester, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's turned into a generational thing. And I also think that, because everything's at our fingertips, people almost don't think that they don't think they have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, if I visit this website, it's like I've been there. That's not the case.
Right. And then also opportunity is obviously, we've just been super blessed with, our families always travel. So we know certain things because we've had certain opportunities, and other people don't have that.
And we got to live abroad when we were very young.
Yes.
So it opened our eyes at a young age.
Where did you two both live? Tell
so we lived in Milan for two and a half years. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So we've seen things that are very different over there, politics and how it was like affecting our day to day. Even when we were really young, it's so different. Like going
That's
to
what I'm saying. In Europe, we don't care about this whole like black, white, straight, gay, trans, which is a new thing now, or the global warming that comes around, climate change, we just get on. It's like, oh, hi, you two, really, really cool, your sisters. Okay, yeah, let's go and have a cup of tea. Let's go and have a coffee, because it's Italy with the coffee shops, you know what I mean? And we kind of like see past that. It's like my one of my best friends from England, when he came over, Stephen Walker Wilson, giving a shout out to him, we were filling in forms, and he didn't know, God bless him, we didn't know like what's this thing you got, what's Caucasian, because we don't have all those ticking of the boxes. We just said, oh, you're English, you're here, you turn up, and then what you're bringing to the table. We don't care what your gender is, or if you're male or female. You know what I mean? It's what you can bring to the table, not what box your ticket, if you're black and Spanish or this, whatever. So he had to, and we both had to like get across all these different boxes which are being ticked for us. And, oh, you're in this certain belief, you got to fit in this box because
right.
Yeah, your sexuality, you've got to be in this box, you know. So it's very interesting, you know.
Yeah, I also think it has a lot to do, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, a lot to do with like work ethic, because I think that culturally Europe has more of it. Like, I just do.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think maybe it's also old school, or like whatever it is, because
they're not as, like, in Europe it's like straightforward. Here it's very wishy-washy. Like,
right. Like we were raised to, like, if you want it, you gotta work for it. Like there's no easy street.
There's no like paying extra money to get somewhere.
No.
Like,
no, you sure? This is America. We throw money at it. That's how we fix it, and it goes away. Right? How much are you gonna pay? Right? It goes away.
Yeah. No. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just how we were raised or whatever. But I think that that's a huge part of it too. It's just like people aren't willing to work.
Yeah.
As much.
Why?
I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is, honestly. I mean, like I said, maybe it is something where it's just like, it's more old school. And our grandparents are all immigrants, like right off the boat, like all four of them. So they come from like, what do you mean you're going to just sit there? Like, what are you doing kind of thing?
And wait for
a
government check.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's so like,
but don't get me wrong, that stimulus was good.
Yeah, no, I know.
That stimulus was good. It got us through COVID, I tell you, man. It got us through COVID.
Totally.
Trump was making it rain.
Yeah. No, totally. I don't know. But that's just our own experience. That's our own perception. So I wish that other people would have like that drive to be like, I want to learn more about like everyone else's perception and perspectives, so I could come up with like my own true perception on everything, because I feel like it's not complete. Like a lot of people's perceptions aren't like there yet, you know what I mean? And that's
I suppose also, I mean, because you're in Westchester, I'm in Manhattan, so I'm talking about New Yorkers now. I mean, from what I can gather, it's like, you know, New Yorkers are just caring about New York. They're just caring about New Yorkers because you got to get out of my way. You see it on the subway, you come out from Westchester, so you get out of 34th Street or like Penn Station or Grand Central. Everyone's like, well, BC before COVID. Yeah. Everyone's just like rushing around, get out of my way, dog eat dog. But I do feel this lockdown has really brought us together because nobody had it as bad as we did in New York. Like, totally. No one had it as bad.
Totally. No, I totally
no one had it as bad as us, you know. So
I agree.
We've all learned. Nobody, I always say to my family and friends and work colleagues, no one's come out of this lockdown the same. Everybody's come out like different. Yeah. It taught us so much. It made us really, you know, I suppose, value life a bit more and really evaluate where we're coming from. I mean, like yourself, we're on a podcast, loads of podcasts came out of it. Yeah. A lot of people did very well and made more finances and more money out of this lockdown, which is why they'll keep us down for another 2 years. So it really it made us learn a lot. And as you can see, lots of businesses have realized it's actually beneficial for their staff to be working from home. Yeah. You know? So, you know.
Totally.
That was a good question.
Yeah. It took us a lot of places.
Story of my life.
No, yeah. And I also think that, like you said, it made everybody a little bit different. It made us, like, because our relationship was not as strong as it was right now. Because we made this podcast together. Like, we found common ground. And then our whole family got to spend more time together. You know what I mean? Like, opportunities just kept
coming in. I mean, my sister is in Asia. My brother's wife, they're married, they've got 2 sons. My sister has twins. She's from Barcelona, and then my mum and dad retired early, so they spend time in London where the house is, and obviously in Uganda because they've done their bit now. You know, they've raised 3 kids and that type of stuff. So coming together, like you said, we had like FaceTime and a family group chat, which you would never have time to reply to. Like, Mom, Dad, I'm living in New York. Like, I don't have time to look at your picture this time with the grandchildren. But it brought us together because, as you know, you were in lockdown in New York. You just stuck in this room.
Yeah.
Couldn't go out anywhere.
No.
And you know, we're creatives. We create. And like, as much as people love these Zoom meetings and, you know, working remotely, what we're doing, you and I are doing, you can't really create things through a Zoom.
I know.
There's nothing like being in person and doing an interview. As you'll see this interview we did last night with somebody. I'm sure you'll see it soon when we get the license to air it. But the chemistry, what you're talking about, like the 9/11 interviews and that type of stuff, you can't get that through Zoom.
No.
When you're watching a clock, if you're on the free one, you've only got 45 minutes, half an hour. You know, you can't get that connection. You know, when you're saying, "Oh, you're muted," You know, there's something different with that. You know, being, you know, the human connection.
Totally.
You know, which you can't get through Zoom. Which I know a lot of people listening are preferring to, you know, work remotely. But you know, I'm one to get back in the office. You know, I love that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Body language is huge, and you can't get as much if you're.
You can, especially when you're on that Zoom meeting. It's just a square.
Yeah.
It's just a picture. Yeah, you can't even bloody see their face. It's like, why bother to be on this Zoom? I can't even see you. It's just like a picture. Some have a picture, and then some have a black square. So it's like the whole BLM all over again. Or the yellow square. I can't keep up with all the squares.
I know.
Virtual signaling, you know. So yeah, you know, there's nothing better, nothing can beat than human connection.
I agree.
So next question.
All right, your question, Liz.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your own encounters with like celebrities, or like certain ones that like have, for example, like the one that you mentioned earlier, how she like played the Fifth Amendment.
He or she.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, what was the biggest reaction that you've had to someone that you can remember? Like, just like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that answer, kind of thing.
The one for me was, as we just said, the lady wanted to plead the Fifth Amendment when I asked her, which is, you know, freedom of choice. We're in America, you know what I mean?
Right.
Supposedly the land of the free with the vax mandate. But that's another podcast. But one of the most ones that you just had to let the camera run and you didn't have to edit it or do anything was when I asked, and I'm probably going to get shot in the head now for this, but then I'll have my new oppression. I'll be shot. But no, but the one that really shocked me was when we asked someone, what does 9/11 mean to you? And their answer was, which is in the opening, fashion week is during 9/11. So for them, 9/11 is a great day for fashion.
Wow.
And I was like, you don't need to do anything with that. Just leave that edit in. And I love her to bits. Adriana, who's the executive producer and the producer, started the segment with that. And people were just like, people who were just like Joe Blogs, like the man on the street, that's what we call in England, Joe Blogs, to people who were like bona fide publicists were just like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, how people have died in 9/11. There was firefighters running into the building to save people. One of the ladies from my church, she was in one of the buildings and she saw some of her colleagues jump out the window because they'd rather jump out of the window than stay and get burned. And she saw people, grown big men, CEOs, push women out of the way because the women were told to take off their heels and walk down the stairwell. Saw big grown men push them out of the way so they could get down the stairs quicker. And to that certain person, mentioning no names, 9/11 to them is a great day for fashion.
That's wild.
You can't even make that up.
No, no.
I can't.
No.
I had to do an LA bit then. I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
you know,
no. Yeah, I just listened to, like, I forced myself to watch the live stuff, you know, because every year they like roll it back on the news.
Yes.
So like the play-by-play. And it was the first year that I forced myself to watch it like from start to finish. And it was so, I was crying the entire time. Like I I was young. How old was I? 3 or 4, but because I couldn't remember, but
what was going, yeah.
But still, I was just, and my dad was actually flying that day.
Oh.
But my mom didn't know. Had no idea. So his flight was
delayed or
canceled before anything, before he could take off or anything like that. But
good for him.
That was like, oh my gosh. So everybody has like, different connections and different stories. And even if you weren't born while it was happening, like that, you can't watch something like that and have it not affect you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that answer is so crazy to me. It's so wild.
I mean, each their own, and I might be taking it out of text and out of context.
No,
so totally. Listeners on the podcast or viewers, go to StyleCulture.tv or go to Addy Media on YouTube and watch the segment of 9/11 and see for yourself. Maybe I might be being a British fool and taking it the wrong way, but to me, I was shocked by the answer. So that was one of my eye openers. I mean, there's a lot to take in because you're basically not sleeping for 7 days. Because as you know, with the explosion of social media and because the world is coming that much smaller,
right?
Most of these licensees and distributors or clients want our content 12 hours minimum. So you have 12 hours to pump out the content, or else it's seen as old news. Because look, no one's talking about the Met Gala or Gala, as they call it over here. No one's talking about the Met Gala anymore. That's old news. Nobody cares about that. So, no one's even talking about, COVID much anymore now. That's kind of like blasé. No one's talking about BLM. No one's talking about Asian Lives Matter. It's all about, global warming. And funny enough, not many people are talking about Afghanistan now, because what I found in America, especially in New York, the news cycle is so fast. Like everybody's talking about Gabby now, Gabby, and then it's going to be on to the next and on to the next and on to the next, So it's very fast paced.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, because as soon as you turn in a segment, it's then seen old or obsolete. But it is what it is. If the content you're pushing out is of good value, it will never be seen as dated,
Yeah, sometimes. So what we do with our podcast is we keep segments open, so we never close them. So we have like a bunch. We have some for separation of church and state. We have
I listen to them.
I
did my homework because you got to know what you're going to be going on to,
Yeah, but we like to keep them open because the current events change, but sometimes they like to go back. The news likes to have like a nostalgia moment and like nitpick and use it almost to divide us, like as a device to divide us a little bit more. I feel like every time they go back, they divide us more and more, and they just keep using it.
Because now it's to divide us even further.
Right.
Even when you look at it, it's the vax and unvax now. So now you're getting the invites and the invitations and the emails saying, yeah, we'd love for you to join us. I'm sorry, but it's only open to vax only.
That's wild to me.
So it's just like, it can be really hurtful. And it's really funny because a lot of the people that we've interviewed who are coming into New York, and as of yesterday as well, some of the people who came into New York, they'd come in from California, some had come in from Baltimore, so DC, and they're really shunned that they have to come into a Manhattan building and have to show their vaccination card, or be told they can't enter because they're not vaccinated.
Well, that's what happened this weekend. I was in Manhattan, and we went into the first, we had just arrived and we were going to dinner, and thank God, literally the hotel was right around the corner, and I walked in and I forgot my card, and she was like, well, you have to go back and go get it because I can't let you into this restaurant. And I was like, okay. So if it was far away, we wouldn't have been able to eat dinner there. And I was just so taken back because here, it's everything's so loose,
for now.
For right now, at least.
For now.
I was just taken back. I was like, whoa, we're just living in a totally different,
totally. I mean, each of them own. And I don't want the listeners on the podcast or the viewers who are seeing this on YouTube to think that myself or any of us on here, we're anti-vaccine. but my stance on it is I'm not anti-vaccine. I mean, when I went to go to Uganda every summer holidays, or India, or you know, Israel, Tel Aviv, you have to be vaccinated. You know, yellow fever, typhoid, you know, tetanus, the whole 9 yards. My stance is that I'm pro-vaccine. I'm just anti-mandate. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's the 14th Amendment. No government can dictate to you what you can put in your body.
I agree.
So it's just like, I mean, I'm British and I know the 14th Amendment, you know, and people know all the words to Rihanna and Jay-Z, but they don't know what's the law is. So that's my stance on it. I'm for the vaccination. If it makes you feel safe and you want to get vaccinated, good for you, muzzle top. But you can't say to us that you gotta be vaccinated or else you can't come to work on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's kind of the road.
You can't come in the building.
Yeah, that's the roadblock we're hitting, is that freedom part of it. Because like we're both vaccinated, and like I feel like it's such a thing now. It's almost like you have to like introduce yourself and be like, "Hi, I'm vaccinated."
Vaccinated.
Like, would you like to see my card?
That's what I do. And Adriana, she laughs at me before I go and interview, because I'm a hugger. I'm European. I don't put my hand out or put my elbow out and all that.
The elbow.
That type of stuff that Biden's saying. But what I do, as soon as I go to interview someone, even though they know from their publicist knows from the email that we're fully vaxxed, I take my card out, which is on my belt, and I say to them, "Hi, I'm Charlie, or Charles, whatever. I'm fully vaccinated." And I actually physically show them the card, and then they feel embarrassed. Oh no, it's fine. But I want them to feel at ease, because all the time when you're talking to someone, they're going to be thinking, this dude is getting a bit too close to me without a mask. And you know, we're talking, so it's putting their mind at rest. And you know, 9 times out of 10 they actually appreciate that you're thinking of them. You know, you got to think of others.
Right.
He says.
We just I think we have to now find like a balance of like where everyone can still feel safe but like not on guard, because I feel like it's a lot of like fear of like, how do I act around this person?
Oh, we have him mask. Oh, no,
what do I do? 6 feet.
It's like awkward. It's like, oh, do I hug you? Do I put my elbow out? And I just thought, it's actually like, I'm trying to toughen up living in New York. I mean, I've been in New York since 2004 and LA since 2007. But it's really like, for me, as maybe an offensive is a too strong word, but I find really offended when you're in that community with people and you can see them edging away, like you smell or something, you know what I mean? Or they move their mask up higher over their nose when you come towards them to speak. It's like, what are you doing? But people have just come to the norm now. You sit on the train to Westchester back into Manhattan, and you see them coming closer, and you see them moving their mask up higher. So it's crazy. I mean, it's a new norm, I suppose. You know, we've all been through a lot. You know.
All right, so we'll wrap it up with one more question. We don't want to take your time too much, but we will take this one last question.
So we have some sort of platform, or we call it our thesis of, can't we all just get along? What are your thoughts of that becoming a reality?
So like, it's like that thesis of, can't we just all get along? Like, how are we going to get there again?
Like, how are we going to become like one United State
again?
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
The way, well, that's a big loaded question. I mean, who am I to say? I'm just like the Englishman in New York. I'm the gypsy who's got around town, you know, gypsy meaning like, you know, traveling from places to places, because gypsy means different things. Hat off to Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Gypsy Woman. But the way I suppose we can all get along, which is happening, is like when we take the preconceived ideas out of our minds. And I suppose it's really hard because, again, you ladies were saying that you lived in Europe, you lived in Milan, and even down to when I'm such a New York, I'm always talking about the subway. When you travel on the subway, or when you pick up your cell phone or your tablet, the information or the way the media portrays different ethnicities is totally different in how you see it in Europe. For example, to make myself clearer, when you see people of color, as you call them over here, when you see people of color, the way we're marketed and branded over here in the US is totally different to how we're branded in Europe. When you go on the subway, you look at your tablet, it's constantly try and get vaccinated because of numbers show that we're people of color less going up to get vaccinated. But you know, go to school and get your GED because we don't know how to read or write. And like the only thing the person of color can accomplish is holding a mic, bouncing a ball, or taking our clothes off. So what I'm trying to do with the work that I'm doing with Addy Media and StyleCulture TV is I'm really trying to, in my small little way, is to propel and show people that we can do, yes, we can do that, but we can do more than that. We can be intelligent.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of people saying to me, oh, wow, you know, you speak articulately, or, oh, wow, you're fine. You can come through now, because they know that I am European and I'm not from here. But why should you think that I'm something else when you see me, first of all, in a suit, which is 2 sizes too small, and then treat me in a different way because you hear the way I speak. So I think it's breaking down stereotypes and barriers. I think that's how we can all get along.
Yeah, that's great.
And not listening to the media. Turn your cell phones and social media off, because they're very clever at telling you a certain thing. It's like, enough, Dr. Fauci. You've got your blue tick over social media. You're verified. Enough is enough. America, New York needs to open. We need to go back to work. We can't work in a room remotely. So, you know.
I agree.
I think that's how we could get together. I don't know. What do you girls think? How can we become United States of America?
I think the stereotypes are huge.
Yeah, and they work.
They're like our driving forces. Like we use them as vehicles to get around. Like we don't know how to like step outside of that. That's like, it's just
to break the narrative.
Yeah, we can't do it. We have to fight to get out of that. And I think that's like part of our fight, is like just getting everybody, as many people from as many walks of life on here, and just be like, can't we all just get along? Like,
get along, and that's what I love about lifting the rug. You know what I mean? Because you're lifting the rug on that. I've had too much Starbucks and was talking too fast, as Joanna would say. But that's why I'm, you know, I really want to break, you know, pull the rug back and, you know, and break down those stereotypes. Stop constantly telling us that we're oppressed.
Yeah.
You know, we're not oppressed. We're working really hard. Some of us are working around the clock with no sleep to propel ourselves.
Right.
Granted, the only thing which is oppressed to me at the moment is my skinny jeans. But stop telling me that we're oppressed, you know? No, we're not oppressed, you know?
I agree. I 100% agree. Oh, man.
Humor. Well, we bring our message across through humor. That's what I've learned.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That's what I've learned.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for taking time out to speak to me, ladies. I hope I didn't bore you too much.
No,
that wasn't too political.
This is amazing.
I'm not political. I'm not political. I just speak the truth, and maybe because I'm from Europe, maybe because I'm European, I just speak the truth. Like when you see the interviews of Adele when she wins her Grammy, she goes, I didn't even know I was going to be winning. She just got a babysitter for the night, and she was happy. Because I suppose from Europe, we just like, we're just like honest and speak the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't got a clothing line or a fragrance to push. You know, we just want to just speak the truth. You know, I mean, you take it as you will. And some people are like, oh no, Charlie, you can't say that. You can't say that. You know what I mean? You know, you can't say that. Not over here. It's not PC. But what is politically correct now? You know, what is PC now? Is it politically correct to say to somebody, you can't come in? You can't come to my house because you're not vaxxed? You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I love lifting the rug. You've lifted the rug on me.
Oh, good.
And I hope the listeners have, you know, we've lifted the rug from underneath you, and you pulled the wall over, you know.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we just want to do a quick shout out to JoJo Pastors for making this happen so great. And her podcast is called Happening Now. So make sure to take a
picture for JoJo.
Listen to that as well, wherever you listen to podcasts. And thank you again, Charlie, so much. Thank you.
No, thank you, ladies. And when you've got time, listeners and viewers, please go to StyleCulture TV, where you can see these interviews that the ladies were talking about, and so much more.
Yes.
An exclusive interview which is going to be coming out, which I'm going to get in trouble for disclosing. The next time you'll be like, Jojo, where's Charlie? Oh, he's deported. We sent him back to England. Another one bites dust.
Oh man, no, I don't think.
Well, I'm gonna be here for many, many, many years. People making loads of money out of me, loads of taxes. I'm gonna be here for many, many years.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. Thank you so much, ladies. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Keep lifting that rug. Keep lifting that rug.
Thank you. We
Take
will.
care. Bye, ladies.